The At Home Show.
Just in time for Thanksgiving. It's an at-home show how-to. How to cook the perfect turkey, according to Josh. Step 1. Buy a turkey. Step 2. Make sure to thaw it out properly. Step 3. Overcook the turkey. Step 4. Go buy a pre-cooked turkey. Step 5. Tell everyone you spent hours slaving away over that turkey. Hey, not gonna lie, it's what I would do. Live from the Green Room Studios, from the spacious property of Bates Nursery and Garden Center, 3810 Whites Creek Pike, it's the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates.
Oh, yeah. Welcome in, everybody. It's Saturday morning. It's time for the At Home Show, coming to you live from the Green Room Studios here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. We may touch upon turkey cooking skills today.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I can't cook a turkey for nothing.
Well,
so.
now, Josh is a turkey master now.
I know. That's why I did that.
Okay, yeah, the turkey has been removed from the freezer yesterday. It will go into the brining bag on Tuesday evening.
What time on Tuesday evening, Josh?
Probably 4:13.
Okay.
4:13.
So, next Saturday, are you going to bring some of this turkey for us to test?
If there's any left.
Okay, so if you don't, I'm just going to assume you're a liar.
Okay. Strong words.
Hey, David, it's cold outside this morning.
Josh, I couldn't help but notice that.
It's going to get colder in here, too.
Yeah, well, it's already off to a chilly start. Yeah, and welcoming everyone to the At Home Show. We're glad to be here today. We appreciate you tuning in, checking out what we've got going on today. And, of course, we will begin, per usual, with the weather. We're going to give a look at the forecast for the week out. Today, of course, is Saturday. We're going to have partly cloudy conditions. And then if you were up at about 6 a.m. this morning, out and about, it was absolutely gorgeous. The cloud cover with the low sun on it. It was the blues and the magentas and the pinks. It was really gorgeous. But I digress.
You did.
We're talking about weather, and it will be partly cloudy. About 60 degrees today, so a very pleasant autumn afternoon here in the 20th of November. Can you believe we're that far into it?
Yes.
And we are expecting seasonable conditions for this time of year. Sunday afternoon, a little bit afternoon, maybe 1 o'clock, could be some rain moving through. We're hoping that will push later in the day for those who may have outdoor activities like football games and the like. So hopefully that will hold off, but probably won't. 56 for the high tomorrow, and rain starting in the afternoon. Monday is going to be noticeably cooler, only 46 for the high on Monday, and very cold, a very hard freeze Monday night. It's time, and thankfully we've had several other frost and lighter freezes. Today was one of those, by the way. 23 for the overnight low. That means you could get down to the upper teens in outlying areas, which is where Bates Nursery is located. Yes. And we would expect probably 18 degrees out here. On Tuesday, a slight warm up, but sunshine, 49 degrees, 31 for the overnight low, 58, 43 for Wednesday, the Thanksgiving Eve, as it were. Thursday, looks like rain, so it's a good day to sit inside and watch all your gorge out on both turkey and football and relatives, I suspect.
You're going to eat your relatives?
Some people probably.
It's just a matter of the exposure you might be getting. So anyway, 52-28 on Thursday and next Friday. 46, 29 degrees. Currently, it's 30 degrees here in the museum. Let me refresh it, see if that's still correct. It could be a little off, but it's 33 now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're beginning that warm-up process, and appreciate you tuning in this morning to the At Home Show to hear what all we got to talk about whatever that might be.
615-499-6690, because we'll talk about what you guys want to talk about if you want to. I mean, you can call in that number.
Yeah, and speaking of that number is going to be changing in the coming week.
Yes.
So we briefly talked about it before we went on air. And
why is that, David Bates?
Well, because somebody who that number is attached to has got a
real job.
It's got a real job, and they've got to move on. And the employers have that ability to say, "No, you can't do that too."
Who's that?
That would be
the Moose.
That would be Michael himself.
Okay.
So, and we appreciate them not just putting the gauntlet down in a single week. They did give him a little bit of time, and so it's gracious of them. So thank you for sharing Michael with us for a few more weeks.
So you're going to be You're going to be the second former award-winning producer of the At Home Show.
Well, I mean, chronologically, yes, but I am the former award-winning producer.
Okay.
Well, he's full of himself today, isn't he? I mean,
one thing that we try to, for the members of the cast here on the At Home Show, we try to pick people based on their view of self-importance and how high.
It fits it right in. I mean, it really does work out well. All right.
615-499, until you hear otherwise, that's our number.
And additional cast members. We haven't introduced the additional cast members, the important members of the cast.
We're going to go over first to Austin.
Yes.
Austin Lowen, and he is our resident. Yeah, he's a technical expert, horticulturally speaking. He quite an astute young man with a lot of horticultural acumen. And he also knows a lot about plants. Yeah. So,
yes,
so we're glad to have you in this morning, Austin.
Good morning.
And of course, on the inside plant realm, we're really glad to have Caroline Gant. Cary, good morning to you. And,
good morning.
And she's surrounded herself with all things Christmassy coming up, poinsettias. And I'm sure she'll be giving us a complete dissertation on John R. Poinsett later on in the show this morning.
Complete with footnotes?
Complete with footnotes.
And a bibliography?
And his discussion of his time in Mexico and his discovery of the now named poinsettia. Good morning, Caroline.
Good morning.
All right, they're already after Michael's job. We've had one person that wishes to apply for the position.
Okay.
Now, this person doesn't have opposable thumbs, so I don't know.
Well,
Peppermint Patty wants his gig, man.
Is that right? Well,
she's had experience.
She's a high energy animal, that's for sure.
Okay, but she doesn't have thumbs.
She's not quite as disruptive as Josh, though. So
cool. I don't know. I think she's had her only appearance on the show. She made quite a I don't know if it had a similar impact on me, but all I could see was
cameras falling,
everything going every which way.
And it wasn't Patty's fault.
So it was a one-day contract?
It was
whose fault was it? If we're going to assess blame,
who brought her? She can't drive either.
Well, I mean, who invited her is what I want to know. Thank you, Michael.
It was Michael that did it.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Michael.
It was Michael.
It was not Michael.
615-499-6690.
Now, that's one of the ways you can get in touch with us. You can either leave a voicemail, or you can text us, or you can reach us through social media. Josh takes care of the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates Facebook page, so you can message us through there. Caroline takes care of the Instagram version of that, the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates Instagram page. And I guess it's time for me to ask, do we have questions in the queue by chance?
Of course we do. All right, y'all ready for your first one?
Okay.
This comes from Jess Likes Cake. Still love that name. I have a large garden bed ready for plants. Where do I even begin?
She did.
She will.
She did begin by asking a question. So.
All right, Austin, take it away. Let's see what you got.
All right, first things first.
Not necessarily in that order, though.
Yeah. So what you want to do and to get started for us, if you want to, go through us, and I don't know if this is an ornamental bed or if it's a vegetable bed. Either way, it doesn't matter. But bringing pictures, through your phone to us to let us see your site and let us see your sun exposure and all that good stuff, and bringing it in and talking to one of us, and we'll walk you around the lot. See, we're different. We don't give you designs on paper of the plants that we like. We let you walk around with us, and we let you see the plants that you can use that will work in your bed, and we let you choose what you like rather than us doing a design for you, choosing the plants that we like. So that's the first step. So if it's a large bed that you want to make pretty, walk around with us, and we'll help you design and layer and go as far as you want to go with it.
And I think it's a great point you make, Austin, about there is no set of rules that says you must do this and your landscape must look in a certain way. The eye of the beholder rule is really what
makes somebody happy. I mean,
if you see, if you've got a landscape or a garden area that you are particularly fond of, and there is a particular something that makes a good focal plant, that's a good place to start to kind of get your anchor plants in there. And then it's like my wife is an artist, so I liken it to that process of the artistic filling of the area, and that's where you get the opportunity to be able to have your landscape that is reflective of what you are fond of and the kind of look you are looking for within the constraints of what the light and other conditions allow. In the event that this is a vegetable garden that you're talking about, one of the things coming up, not with immediacy necessarily, is the application of compost for your planting and working that into the soil. So talk about that for just a minute, Austin, and what people need to be thinking about as we are now just getting close to the winter season and what all is ahead.
Yeah, so if it is a vegetable garden, like you said, getting some compost or manure down on top of the soil that you already have and incorporating it in is a good practice to use. And then also thinking about cover cropping. Keeping the soil just soil through the wintertime allows for a lot of bad things to get in over the wintertime and in the early spring, a lot of seeds that are blowing in or whatever. So getting a cover crop down is really helpful. Crimson clover comes to mind as something you can sow right now, and
it's a good song up. Too.
Yes. Also, annual ryegrass, just to have a nice green cover over top of your soil over the winter, and then whenever the spring comes around, we can till right into that, work it right up, and then plant directly into it. So
now, excuse me, guys, but many years ago there was a real movement, and it was edible landscaping. So I mean, I love it. I keep herbs and blueberry bushes, and we still have one strawberry that comes back every year. I mean,
you get one a year out of it?
We get the squirrels get a whole lot more than I do, but we do. But it's amazing, and you can actually eat what you use. Some of it will go into the turkey brine that is going to be happening.
I'm a personal fan. I think of for people that are interested in that, blueberries and figs are the two most bulletproof, can't miss. As long as you've got sunlight, and ample sunshine, those are both really great choices. You're going to have prolific fruit production on both of them.
But sage is beautiful this time of year, and I mean it's a nice part of the bed.
Again, that goes back to what Austin was talking about, is having this entire selection of different things. You don't want to have all conifers or all deciduous plants or all broadleaves. A mixture of textures and colors is what really makes a landscape appear complete.
Honeyberries, guys, I'm going to tell you, I mean, they are...
How you try?
We got a whole 5 this year, David. Okay.
Were they any good?
No.
That's the problem. No. That's one of those things that is named
improperly.
Yeah, it's I would say extraordinarily optimistically that maybe you picked them too soon.
Well, it's one of those things that you have to have a couple of them because of the way that they cross pollination.
They are.
They're not particularly attractive.
They are monoequous.
Excuse me.
They have a male and a female.
Oh, okay. But you get the blooms, and it. Again, we had a banner year last year. Now,
speaking of the banner, I hear that's back in town. Is that am I correct on that?
I think Miss Calademus is involved in that.
Oh, I actually saw Demetria and Verlin last evening.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. We got to speak briefly.
Did she have her stuff on from the French shop?
I don't know.
I'm sure she had the French shop.
We were just happened to both be at a benefit concert last night.
Okay.
So it was nice to see them.
She used to wear fuzzy slippers in the morning on the Ralph Emery show.
Well,
She'd French shop up on top,
Yep.
fuzzy slippers.
Well, people got to be comfortable.
615-499-6690.
I'm not going to talk about what kind of shoes you've got on, John.
Yeah. Hey, before we leave real quick.
She wouldn't look good in these LL Bean boots, though.
Oh, no, she's an attractive lady. She will look really nice regardless.
Right.
What was that, Austin?
I was just going to mention blueberries and their fall color this year.
Yes.
Goodness. Yeah, they're lit up, all red, and they hold their leaves for a long time,
Yep.
more so than most other plants. So
That is an often overlooked attribute.
it is, yeah.
Matter of fact, their fall color rivals that of a burning bush.
It really does, yeah.
And you don't have the
Don't worry about 'em
the
getting-
invasive tendencies that burning bush. I'm talking about Euonymus elatus, and there are a lot of cultivars, several of which are decidedly less so invasive. But that's one of those plants that you really got to watch out. And we still sell a few. It hasn't been banned yet, and it can be pretty well controlled. The newer cultivars, as I mentioned, are much less seed prolific, and they don't. But but if you can get that attribute and still have fruit production, then why would you not just go ahead and do both in one?
Yeah, exactly.
And they will grow. The blueberries will grow similarly sized. There's a variety of sizes of some blueberries can get quite large.
Right.
Others will stay, more of a mid-sized shrub. So they're good choices for the landscape.
There's also a lot of choices now for containers. They keep them really small, like really tight and bush
Yes.
form. So for the people that don't have big yards or whatever and just have a patio, or you live in a condo and all you have is just a little outdoor space, putting blueberries in pots is a good thing to do as well.
Wow, never thought of that. I mean, really hadn't. Now, when it comes to, and Caroline, you might chime in on this. They sell these things that are called strawberry pots that have like multiple holes around them. Am I calling it the right thing?
You are calling it the right thing. And we do have those here at Bates Nursery.
Okay. And
You know what, Josh, though? They can be tricky.
Can they?
The reason I say that is because they can be tricky to water. Anytime you put they got holes in the sides of the pot, so getting water down in there where you need it can be a little tricky.
Well, they're one of those things that you really have to be a highly proficient waterer. If you're going to hand water one of those, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of times. You have to multiple times go back and re-wet, because frequently people don't leave enough of saucer at the very top of it. They'll fill it too full. So you that's the key to watering those. You're not going to get much water in on the little side places where the plants come in. You've got to be able to soak it from the top, and allow that to go down, or have it in a saucered dish where you can fill that and it can wick it up. Either of those ways works well, but the downside to having it in a saucer, if it's a rainy time, you can keep it too wet. So there's a lot of things to be mindful of on those. They do a great job of displaying a wide variety of plants. I personally like sedum, hens and chicks, that kind of thing. I think is the best year-round use for them. But certainly actual strawberries are another good choice.
Yeah, and you mentioned sedum and succulents because they have much less water needs, than strawberries do. So, like you said, that's a good one to put in those pots as well.
very nice.
That's right. And they look fancy. So there you go. All right. Let's get to our second question of the morning. This comes from HDE Ram. We live in northern Illinois and planted 2 Ito peonies this year. What to do now? Trim or leave it alone?
It's a great choice, first and foremost. You will not regret having Ito peonies in your yard. I come down on the side of perhaps mulch there in northern Illinois. So they probably, My suggestion would be simply to mulch around them and don't do anything else until they start to break in the spring. Austin, where do you come down on that?
Yeah, I think that's fine. If you can stand seeing the dead, ugly kind of leaves, I'm assuming Northern Illinois, y'all have already had some pretty cold.
They're an herbaceous perennial enough to where that a lot of that's just died back down.
It is,
naturally.
right. Yeah, it's just died back. A lot of people just don't like to look at it. Simply, it's just...
Turn your head.
Yeah.
Look away.
You know, but yeah, like you said, in the early spring, whenever they're starting to push, you can kind of see them pushing from their eyes down below in the ground. Once you see that, remove anything old and clean up around the base of the plant. Make sure it's clean, and you should have Ito peonies for years to come.
I planted one this year. Yeah.
There are a lot of new plants that come onto the market. And the Ito peonies are not new plants necessarily, but they got a big boost in popularity and the knowledge thereof by Monrovia and other growers around, simply because they are a hybrid between a tree peony and a herbaceous perennial type of peony, and so that it has Mr. Ito, from Japan, who developed these, I think he worked on them for like 20 or 30 years before he ever got one to flower.
Wow.
So one of the things that Monrovia was able to do, and the time that my good friend Nicholas Stadden, good morning, Nicholas, glad to have you in town this week, by the way, is that through tissue cultures, they're able to greatly accelerate the process of selection, to be able to dig out really viable blooming cultivars out of the selections that he had, and really refine them and improve them a lot. And consequently, they're a peony that does not suffer from most of the ills that herbaceous peonies do, and they more have a natural look. Like they don't require staking, which is one of the wonderful things.
Pork chops?
I'm a grow through stake. This is like a frame. Josh. Because they're bad to flop if they're the regular herbaceous.
They play basketball.
These simply stand up on their own, and they are very resistant to disease, which is another of the problems. And they don't get so big as do the tree types. So they're very look proper in the landscape.
Wait, let's just assume that is Chicago North. What zone would that be?
Probably four.
I would guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the good thing is they're plenty hardy to that, where that we could probably and do use them in containers here that could be left out year round. They are several hardiness zones below us, and so they can only be used in the ground, but they can be used quite successfully. And typically, they're going to get enough snow cover where that they're going to have ample amount of additional insulation value from that, and that's sometimes a conundrum for folks. That maybe give me a good segue here to mention one thing.
What's that?
Well, we're coming into this cold time of year, and you have containers outside, so you're thinking, well, we need to protect them from freezing. And depending on what you've got in there, that may or may not be true, but one of the best things you can do is prior to a severe freeze, and that would be the most the near event coming up would be Monday, because Monday night, Tuesday morning, we're going to go down to the lower 20s, is to make sure that if you have containers that you have plants growing in, make sure they go into that freeze with the ground really wet. Now, it looks like we're going to get ample rain on Sunday rather, so it won't be a problem probably this time around, but as we get into the real deep part of the winter, where we're having perhaps the possibility for single-digit temperatures, that kind of thing, it's really important to be apprised, and we'll do our best to try to keep you up on that. But before you go into these severe cold times, you want to make sure that containers that you have things planted in are watered thoroughly, and that may make you think, well, but won't that freeze? Well, yes, it will freeze, but it's the temperature to which it freezes to. 32 degrees is the freezing point of water, certainly, but most plants don't get root damage until it goes below 17 degrees soil temperature. So what you're doing when you wet that is that you're filling those air spaces that are in the soil with water, and it greatly slows down how quickly the temperature changes. It provides insulation. So
615-499-6690.
Hey, just got some praise coming in on the Facebook page.
Got some love? Okay.
Yes, from Marcy. She says, Austin has helped me create my lawn bed over the years, and the whole experience has been fantastic. He is so knowledgeable and patient and courteous. I bought most plants from Bates, and I have to say many thanks to Austin and Bates.
Well, thanks, Marcy.
Always nice to hear. We really do strive to try to make it a pleasant experience for everybody coming out. I like to say that we really believe in the concept of good customer service and good information. There is a lot of the alternate already available elsewhere. So we're going to stick with that. It seems to work for us. 615-499-6690. You can voicemail us or leave us a text at that number for the time that we have that number left. And we'll let you know when we're changing.
Yeah. And by the way, thanks for watching us all up in Illinois and wherever you're going. Please identify where you're seeing us if you do send a message. That's great to know. Appreciate it.
Hey, shall we take a moment to talk about... really, while we're here, we've kind of been doing that all along this morning. We want to talk a little bit about Bates Nursery and Garden Center. We have even though we are rolling towards the winter season, and tomorrow is Sunday, our last Sunday for the fall season. I want to remind everyone, and I also want to remind everyone that our weekly newsletter that comes out on Thursday at 3:50 every week will be coming out on Tuesday this week, simply because.
Everybody's going to be asleep by
then. We want people to be able to get the information they need.
Tryptophan hangover.
And so that'll come out on Tuesday this week. We've got a number of things going on that we want to make you aware of. But most importantly, not today, this Saturday, but next Saturday, Cary and Tyler have been working on some special events and folks who are going to be joining us here next week. So tell us about that, guys. Cary?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cutting away to Cary.
Tyler waiting for him. So next Saturday, we've got a couple of local vendors. We've got Music City Tropicals, who we had a few months ago, coming out for rare houseplants again.
And we didn't have our new greenhouse finished when they were here, and it was warm weather, so we could have them outside. So they will be inside. So the weather will be nice regardless of what it's doing outside.
That's right. They will be inside, as well as Pepper Palm. Am I right about that, Tyler?
Yep.
Yes.
Pepper Palm, hand-painted ceramics.
So she's also a local Nashville-based artist, so she'll be bringing some of her pottery. So it's a good time to start getting some holiday gifts, something very unique.
Tell us a little bit about her. When you say pottery, what is it? Just does she hand paint containers? And does she fire them herself, or is she just working with existing containers and redecorating them?
So I don't know the exact media here, but I think she has a team that hand paints the pots, and it's terracotta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well,
so I don't know if it's tempera paint or what kind of paint is on the outside, but it's very colorful and there's lines. It's very Mondrian abstract-esque.
Well, no doubt they'll be bringing
Mondrian abstract-esque.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Mondrian, the modern artist? No? Okay. I'm the only one who went to art school. Bye.
Well, I knew what you were talking about.
I've been to an art store.
But I live with an artist, so that's my excuse for having any knowledge of that word. So anyway, a lot going on. That's next Saturday, so we want everybody to be apprised of that so they can come out and check those things out next week. But what we have today and every day going on for Bates Rewards members, and if you subscribe to my newsletter as now, and this is really surprising to me, nearly 27,000 people subscribe to it. Wow. So I'm very honored and appreciative of that. But this week we're extending to all of our Bates Rewards members, and that's you, if you're a customer. All of our deciduous trees are 20% off. Now, there's only exception to that is Japanese maples. Those are not included in it, but everything else. But to make up for that, you're also going to receive 20% off of Earth Mix Landscape, which is an absolute essential thing to not only planting your trees, but all other things with. It is a wonderful, organic, And it just is a difference maker, is it not, Austin? I mean, people, we have so little loss. People who want to have success, it's a key element in that process.
Yeah, it really is. Especially if you're in a lot of these new homes now, if you're moving from a different place and coming to a new build,
You got no dirt.
You got to. They scrape away all that good stuff and they just pack it down so they, obviously set your home on top of it, and then
Somebody on the block gets it, but it's not that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
not.
rare. Yeah.
They sell it to the subdivision down the road.
That's right. Yeah. So, if you have that poor soil, you can tell it's hard to dig in. It's heavy clay and all that. Mixing in, incorporating our landscape soil with what you've got in there, pressing it in firmly, and then watering. You'll see a tree or a shrub do very well in that.
Absolutely. Cary, did you have something else you wanted to add? I saw your hand poking up.
You know what? I was stretching a little bit, but I do love landscape. I use it for almost everything except for my indoor plants. It's amazing. I had never used it until I started working here.
So anyway, and we'll wrap up this little segment here. But come out and see us at Bates Nursery today. We're open from 9 until 4, noon till 4 tomorrow. And again, it is Sunday, or this Sunday is our last Sunday for the fall season. So come out and see us, rain or shine. We're going to be here. So come on out, Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And if you are interested, by the way, in subscribing to my weekly newsletter, you just go right down the page on batesnursery.com where it says
click
newsletter.
Yes.
And put your name and your email address in there and subscribe.
You're going to sell it to everybody, though, David.
No, we do not. As a matter of fact, we've just gone through rigorous PCI compliance testing to make sure that we have a sufficient amount of resiliency.
That's one of those modernizations
to
things.
Keep your information safe, and we do not sell it, give it away, share it with anyone. So, and if at any time you decide you no longer want to receive it, you can simply unsubscribe. I prefer you not do it the easy way and mark it as spam. It hurts my feelings.
Oh,
But because if you've signed up, it's not spam.
because that's an award-winning newsletter, isn't it?
Well, 3 years in a row, we have been voted the second best newsletter by
Silver
readers.
medals.
We're 3-year silver medalist on the best local blog. So thank you all for that, and come see us, Bates
We're
Nursery.
going to get him number one. We're going to
All
get that
right.
gold medal.
We got some more activity on the Bates Nursery Facebook page.
Okay.
Phyllis is saying, watching from Fremont, Nebraska.
Wow.
For several months now, I'm learning lots of things from you. I appreciate the helpful info and enjoy the plants you show. Your tip of watering container plants before freeze was a great one. I never knew that. Keep up the good work. And Marcy has a question as well as her compliment for Austin. Let me see. I have to dig it out of the comment here. Okay, was trying to share before, so she was trying to share some before and after photos, but her beautiful hydrangeas now are very brown and messy. Does she cut them down now or leave them alone?
Go ahead and cut them.
Go, Austin.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. The hydrangea season is unfortunately coming to a close. As we've talked about in previous weeks, we've had an excellent hydrangea year. We really, every one of them across the board, all species.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
this
There's
year.
no year that even comes close to comparing.
Yeah, it was a great one. So, but unfortunately it is done. So let's go ahead and clean them up. One of our jobs that coming up this week is going to be cutting back our hydrangeas as well. All of our macrophylla hydrangeas look really bad, which is what they do whenever a frost and a freeze sets in. So all their leaves are mushy, if you will. So we're going to take those back. Do not cut them back to the dirt if you do have macrophyllas. Macro meaning big, phylla meaning leaf. So the big leaf hydrangeas, you don't want to take those stems all the way to the ground. Leave some of those up if you are going to prune. When it comes to paniculata hydrangeas, if you have limelights or little limes or bobos, if you have those, you can take those back severely if you need to, if they've gotten too large for you, or you can simply leave them up.
Yeah, and one of the things that is a concern for me on hydrangeas, another reason, regardless of cultivar or species of hydrangea, is that they are all hollow-stemmed plants. And if you have a very wet, unseasonably mild winter, I have seen them rot out because the stems get filled with water and stay waterlogged for months. So that's another reason I prefer, such as the Annabelles that are at my house. We've got a guy that does our maintenance at our home. He asked me the other day, do you want me to cut those Annabelles back? And of course, this is what 36 years of marriage just says. You need to talk to Renee about that.
Yeah, there you go.
So I did not make that decision, but from a horticultural standpoint, there's no reason you don't have to cut them down. If you want to trim off the spent flowers at some point, I actually like the look of the persistent flowers afterwards. I think it looks really good, and I only cut them once they start looking ratty a little bit, and then just trim them off lightly just to take that top off of them. And again, like Austin says, those you can cut back severe because they flower in the summer. They don't, on the current year wood, where your macrophyllus, as he was describing, will flower, unless they're repeat bloomers, typically will flower best on the previous year woods.
Hey, speaking of that, this year, once again, the hydrangea year, we've had the Endless Summer collection of hydrangeas are the ones that they bloom off the old wood like they do, and they do that earlier in the summer. And then the sucker sprouts that come from the base come up through the old foliage, and then they'll bloom again off of that new wood. That's why that Endless Summer, it's endless. And that happened this year really well. One of the best I've seen, a rebloom on the sucker sprouts. So good one to plant. There's a lot of them that are marketed that way that will rebloom for you. So once again, it was another great year for even a double bloom on your hydrangeas.
Well, would anybody like a little known fact about Fremont, Nebraska?
Yes.
Well, I think it would be entirely proper.
Due to the town's geographically central location, the first transcontinental telegraph line in 1861, first transcontinental railroad in 1865, and highway 1913 passed through or very near Fremont. The original brick portions of the old Lincoln Highway are located east of Fremont on the way to Omaha.
Well, there you go.
Dag-nabbit.
I'll just say I did not know that. We'll say we will welcome here to Bates Nursery.
Yes.
Bridget, who is our one of our newest employees, and she came from Lincoln, Nebraska, Campbell's Nursery out there. And so if you're out on the lot today, say hello to Bridget. She'll be down in the perennial area. So we're really glad to have her. Another really capable and personable landscape professional.
Very good. 615-499-6690. Cary, do we have anything you want to talk about over there on the display area?
Oh, we do. So I brought in some more plants kind of similar to what we had last week because we had to wrap up really quickly.
Yeah.
But one thing that we did get in day before yesterday, larger poinsettias. So to my right, we've got white and red. And if you look in front of Austin when he's talking about all of the things that he knows about, you see those beautiful red ones framing that face on either side. So if you're looking for poinsettias, they are here. We are going to get another round in. But yeah, there goes Tyler.
Talk about
Already
the big one.
panning
What
out.
is
You
that?
knew what I
What
was
is
about
that?
to say.
Amazing.
So we've got a tree form poinsettia right here. You can kind of see.
Can you pull her around into the center to
Yes, I can.
Get
I have to shift some stuff. So
get that standard in the shot?
Got to move some
that
things around.
actually is sitting on the floor, right? Or is it on the table?
It's on the
No.
table.
Okay.
That would be
Surprise.
wild if it was on the floor.
Well, it could be that big, but
I
it's
like
not.
it right here. Can't even see me anymore. So we'll just turn her around a little bit.
That is what you
Show
call
her
soil.
off. That is what you
that's
call
the
soil. Yes, you are right, David. Correct.
I was pretty sure. But yeah, I'm going to say that poinsettia probably has upwards of 50 bracts on it. Those are
Every bit of it.
They are erroneously referred to as flowers, but those actually are a bract is for those who don't realize it is a modified leaf. There are flowers on there, but those are buried down deep in the center. So
That's the little bitty baby ones
Here,
that are in the middle.
we'll pull this little one up in front. So now, while we're talking about the poinsettia, you can look at it. Austin, point again.
Those are the blooms.
Bring that Vanahan back in.
That's the actual bloom down there in the center. The
yellow ones that are going to
what is normally referred to as the flower are actually modified leaves or bracts. So there's your little tidbit about poinsettias.
And with the tree form one, y'all, it's not all that hard to achieve that, to be clear. I've done this a number of times making poinsettia trees. It's really not that hard. You pick one stem and you roll with it. You try to pick a straight one and you let it grow up and tall, and then when it gets to the size you want it, you simply cut the head out of it, and then you get to see multiple branching from the tops right there, and then you get your canopy.
Yeah, and that's the good thing to do with the ones that you have left over after this year.
You don't just throw them in the
don't throw
trash.
them away.
It gives you it gives you a year-round use and application for them, and that way you can stay in touch with your poinsettia,
That's right.
your outer poinsettia.
Stay close. Yeah, your poinsettia that you had that unfortunately bit the dust, but
Don't tell people that.
I take it back.
No, I did. I had
But
one
it
for-
was wild.
It was awesome.
How big it was.
Yeah, I trained it to a 4-stem system, but I made it a tree form. So you see a lot of stems, but it was kind of branched, multiple branch, out at the base and then a canopy up top. Unfortunately, we lost her last winter. I transplanted it when I shouldn't have. I cut it when I shouldn't have.
Austin,
Did
But
bad.
now you
It
can start
happens
again.
in the best families.
But that's
Austin.
how we learn.
That's right. I had it for 5 years. I did the wrong thing. So
Well,
happens.
I'm going to say that it was not the wrong thing with respect to the information that you gleaned from that. We often learn a lot more from our mistakes than we do from doing things right.
When did
So-
they develop the glitter? I mean,
Oh, gosh.
when did they develop that? Is that like a scale or something?
I
on
will, and I will promise this to everyone: you will not see glitter enhanced poinsettias at Bates Nursery. We don't do that.
never.
It cannot possibly be good for the plant.
It's the worst.
There are so many wonderful cultivars that are available. So many different colors to choose from. It's really.
Yeah, you won't see fake glitter. What you will and can see though is a cultivar named red glitter,
Yes.
which
Ooh.
looks like it's flecked with these little gold spots all over it.
Stop!
Oh, it's
wow.
it's money.
Now
Josh is excited over
that
there.
one you could see here, but
Yeah, not fake glitter.
but not fake glitter or actual glitter.
Austin, you're in trouble because Jill says she wants that tree.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
my wife, she's watching. Hey, Jilly. Yeah, I know. I want that tree too, babe, but it's a little.
Well, now you have to get it. Now you said you
All
want
right,
it. Jill wants it.
I'll
You
make
gotta
us
buy it
one. I'll
today.
make us a new one.
We'll see how it
Post-show
rolls.
discussion here. Come on.
All right, 615-499-6690. Let's just quickly, while we're
Yes.
rambling around and Cary, we want to hear more questions out of you, but let's just very quickly talk about the thing that we have found that really gives you the best chance of success when you're growing anything is Earth Mix garden products. Yeah, we had a question about garden prep. Earth Mix Supernatural is the premium product for that, and you can buy it here at Bates Nursery in bulk. It's also available at many other independent garden centers around Middle Tennessee area and Kentucky in bags. So and those you can find out by going to the Find Earth Mix tab at earthmix.com, and you click on that, and all the little pins come up on the map.
Earthmix.net.
Earthmix. Did I say .com? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. .net is what I meant to say. Earthmix.com goes to some Japanese company, and I don't know how to explain that, but that's what that does. So Earthmix.net. Check that out, and what you're going to find with Earthmix products that is consistent is that they're 100% organic.
Yep.
They are sustainably produced. And the only additives are things that are naturally occurring things that we do to help boost. The Supernatural, for instance, is one of those things where we add a considerable amount of endo and ecto mycorrhiza fungi along with humic acid. And these are difference makers with respect to how your plant responds, how the communication that exists between root systems on plants. You may not know that happens.
That's
but
kind
it
of dark
does.
web stuff there, David.
Well, I'm just saying it's dark matter because it's down there in the ground because no light gets on anything other than the top of it. So anyway,
Wow.
we encourage you to use Earth Mix products. Check out all of the Earth Mix dealers around. Go to earthmix.net and check all those out. And remember, the success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products, and we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes to talk about that and to help you in your gardening efforts.
Yep. Getting some happy Thanksgivings to us from Risha and from Dwayne. Dr. Jones. He's a great dentist.
All right.
Nice.
Got a nephew in the state championship, I hear, too.
Is that
Yeah, football.
I was going to say the dentistry state championship. I thought,
His brother played at Vanderbilt, I believe.
is that right?
Yeah, man.
I had a
man.
cousin that played at Vanderbilt way back in the day. Flip Bates.
Flip.
Yes, he did.
Is that Topwater's son?
Nope.
No? Jerks boy?
No, he was Byron's. Joe Bates's son.
Oh, okay. We haven't heard from the extended Bates family in a while.
It's been a minute, but chances are they're sleeping.
Live? Is Live going to be at Thanksgiving at the Bates Motel this year?
Can neither confirm nor deny that,
Cut.
Josh.
Cut has got to come.
Cut bait will not be there.
Cut baits, right,
They're,
okay.
They're fishing that day.
Oh, okay.
615-499-6690. Please make him stop.
Caroline, how about those questions?
Let's get another question in. So this comes from Miriam Mims. She asks, or states, I don't like piles of leaves in the yard, but heard leaving them is more beneficial. What to do?
Well,
You can bring a bunch of them to Bates, too.
There's a
Yes, you can.
You can bring them here. Now, what we ask is that you just bring leaves. If we're going to bring like small branches and stuff, we need to separate those out, and they go to a different compost process. But leaves only, we do use a compost quite a lot. You can mulch them into the yard if you like. Not a thing wrong with that. And unless you have
Lots and lots of them.
unless you have like multiple sugar maples that are putting out a huge amount of thick, dense foliage, you probably won't have too much. I really like collecting them and using them in the compost pile to be able to enhance your composting efforts, because if you get them in there now, by spring, if you can continue to turn it well enough, along with your other inputs you already have in there, you can have some great additive that you have created on your own for your garden.
And a lot of folks like to leave them in the beds and around tree lines and
yeah.
stuff like that for the butterflies and the caterpillars
Yeah.
and the moths and all
Leave
of
them
those.
in the on the curbside is not the option.
No.
It's one thing you got to get them out there, but you need to get them up and figure out how you're going to use them. We will take them here if you've got them bagged in paper bags only. We will not accept plastic bags. You'd have to dump those out. But so if you like to
works.
bring those,
Trash cans, just dump them out. Yeah, man.
if you want to go that way, yeah.
How do you feel about running your lawnmower over them?
That's what I do.
Yeah,
Mulch them into the yard?
Yeah.
Well, it's either that or a lawnmower also greatly reduces the volume of them. So if you want to collect
Particulate
them,
size, yeah.
you can rake up that litter that's more finely particulated at that point. And the good thing about this, that makes it break down faster. And it makes it a lot more usable product. Whether you're going to keep it on the grass itself and just let it work in, or move it to your compost bed, I'm a huge fan of breaking it up with a mower. It helps a lot.
Yard boy agrees. He says mulching them up back into the yard is a great way to go.
Oh, it is.
Now he loves to wait until late in the season when the dreaded brat. What kind of tree?
That hopefully will
That
soon be a plant that we will refer to as something that used to exist.
Yeah, they're all nice and slimy, and the last ones to fall off.
Those
you don't take those here.
Those
though,
Caloran pear trees are
okay, Caloran. There's a good way to say it, because you can't say that other word.
well. That's just a generic name. The Caloran is much more inclusive of all of those cultivars, which are equally. They're bad. I'll just say that. 615-499-6690.
Hey, got a poinsettia question really quick here. Is it not correct that poinsettias are toxic to pets?
They are toxic to pets.
You don't want to eat them. Humans don't want to eat them either.
Nobody wants to eat them. We talked about eating plants a couple weeks ago, Josh.
Yes.
We were talking about philodendrons. So, yeah, don't want to eat them. Keep them away from your pets if they do like to get into your plants.
And that said, I have never heard of a single case of. I think they would have to eat so much.
It's a lot.
They don't taste good, even to your dog. But if you notice that
Dogs shouldn't be up on the table eating the leaves anyway.
I've seen cats shred them to pieces. But don't let your animals eat them. That's one of those things that I think is a bit overblown. To be sure, if your dogs or other pets ate yews, taxus, that is quietly, or hemlock.
Yep.
Those are, but those are widely sold. Nobody ever mentions those.
Because that has a milky substance that comes out of them when they break.
That's all.
Yes.
The whole genus
All
Euphorbia.
Euphorbia, yeah.
And Cary, you know all about Euphorbia because there's a
do
lot
know all about
of cacti that look
A lot of
like
people
Euphorbia.
may erroneously believe that euphorbia is like an altered state of mind, but that's a different thing.
That was back in the 70s.
So
615-499-6690.
All right.
You also have a cacti over there, don't you? Two or one or two?
Well, kind of.
I can't really see them
Not
from
really.
my proximity.
We've got Christmas cactus, zygo cactus, which is not actually a cactus.
It's
so.
not.
No, it's not.
Zygo cactus, though, and a lot of people, we were having this discussion last week, Cary, that a lot of people go, well, no, that's a Thanksgiving cactus, or that's a,
Easter.
They're all the same
They
plant.
are all the same plant.
They are forced into bloom, and that is done so based on maybe there are some cultivars that will bloom on a specific day length, but most of them have simply been had the light bloom time adjusted either by black clothing or by lighting them to extend the day to get them to flower at the very precise time. So those growing operations who produce those are able to exactly control the numbers of hours needed to set bud. They're all the same plant. They're different colors, but they're all zygo cactus.
They are all the same. And they do, again, the cactus name kind of throws you off a little bit, but they require a lot more water than a real cactus would. So you don't want to let it stay dry for a long amount of time. Water it more often. We do have 2 more questions to get to, and I know we're running low on time. So we've got one more from Sarah Renee 8. Why do some leaves come in already soft and rotten? Any way to prevent it? Thank you. Oh, she thanked us. So I'm going to assume that could be a houseplant question because I do see that on houseplants. They usually do that if they're in distress. So basically not enough light, too much water, and not enough nutrients in the soil, so it needs to be fertilized. If they are coming out rotten, that's going to be a sign of root rot. So you want to pull your plant out, check the roots, and make sure it's clean. You can let it dry out, put it in perlite, and then put it back in the soil. It's kind of hard to diagnose since we don't know the specific plant. And then if it's coming out like light colored, kind of soft, that's usually not enough light. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that as far as
the outdoor things, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, we try our best not to sell anything that's got soft or rotten leaves on it. We don't want that. Now, this time of year, it could be that it's the frost and freeze that made those leaves mushy. They're going to drop anyway. So if that's what you're referring to, that's natural. And we can simply a lot of times I'll even clean up a plant before you take it home with you. So if you're a little scared to do it or don't know how to do it and want me to show you, I can prune it or clean it for you right before you leave. So
a lot of it can just be stripped off by hand. People like on hydrangeas, a lot of people are going to have those in their yards that are starting to look,
nasty.
Poor. Yeah, but and they would definitely get that slimy look to them. And I talk every year to folks about getting their annuals out before we have these, hard frost and freezes, and because they tend to turn to slime. So a lot easier to get out at that point. And then also that gives you time to get, if you're going to plant violas or pansies at that point, get those in the ground. Now, unfortunately for those items, the season has already passed because there's no availability on those now. So, so if you've got them in the ground, good deal. If we're planning on getting them in the ground, wah, wah. Sorry.
You didn't get a wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
That was on
just a wah, wah.
Just 2.
All right, one more question.
All right, one final question comes from Anastasia. She asked, shade from medium-sized backyard, south and southwest side. Take it away, Austin.
What was the initial word?
Yes.
What'd she say?
Shade tree for medium-sized backyard.
Oh, a shade tree. We've got a number of them right now. If you got a medium-sized yard and you want a medium-sized tree, there's plenty of options. I mean, right off the bat, there's a lot of cherries that come to mind. They're kind of a mid-sized bloomer that are fantastic blooms in the spring. Very, very showy. Dogwoods come to mind. Redbuds come to mind. All three of those. Yeah, there's a lot of cool varieties of redbuds out there nowadays. Some with really chartreuse leaves, some with really dark purple leaves, some with just regular green leaves. So there's a lot of options for those right now. There's some that you don't think of, a plant called styrax, which is a Japanese snowbell. Nobody knows that plant, but it's a cool one. If you come out here, I can show you what it looks like. It's something that you don't see very often.
How is our selection on black gums right now?
Black gums, we have not a ton. I'm not going to lie, because they're fall color. They've been selling.
They have been incredible this year, and to the point of the question is a really good time because we've 20% off for Base Rewards members. So come on in today and you can get that. Get a good selection, save money on it, on not on just that, but on your Earth Mix landscape for planting it with as well.
Yard Boy has made another suggestion about leaf mulching. He says back your mower over the leaves. It mulches them faster and into a finer particulate size. He didn't say particulate size because I'm not sure he could spell it, but I know
He can voice text that word and get close enough, I bet.
Okay.
Hey, I want to say something before we leave. Tyler, pan down on those juniper out in front. I'm stoked about these plants right now. Look at this. Can you get them over the juniper in front of the heuchera? Can you get a shot of those?
Oh yeah, sorry, hold on.
The juniper in front of the heuchera.
Right in front of you. Look at those.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
That's called gold strike juniper, and it's a ground cover juniper, so it's going to spread across the ground. But
Now,
fall
for a
color-
little technical talk, that is a Juniperus horizontalis, is it not?
I believe so.
And what that means is it is probably a cultivar
Horizontalis.
of what is known as an Andorra juniper. That's where the sport was probably discovered from.
Gorgeous.
Would you guess that is correct?
Yeah, I would assume that's correct. And the cool thing is these came to us as this beautiful green, like bright chartreuse green, and now they're changing for the fall season. And I mean, there's colors of oranges, reds.
And this is conifer time of year right now. I mean, there's so many conifers. A lot of people use a green giant arborvitae. There's a cultivar called Ember Waves that this time of year turns a brilliant gold color. It's just green like the other ones during the normal growing season, but now it turns into this brilliant rust gold color. And so conifers really add a lot to the landscape depending on which ones you choose, because they're not necessarily the same color all year long. So it really gives you an opportunity for excellent selection.
Yeah, and while we're talking about arborvitae, let me just throw this out there, because this is the time of year where we get a lot of phone calls of people wanting to freak out a little bit. All arborvitae across the board is going to go this off color a little bit over the wintertime. We call it kind of a winter bronzing, if you will.
Right.
So
that's normal.
That's normal. With all arborvitae, don't freak out. Don't think your plant's dying because it's going a little bit bronzy on you. That's what they do. So just stick with it. It's going to green up in the spring.
Some do it much more than others.
Exactly.
Emerald green, less so than some, but there are some that will actually, they just almost look, it's a bronze, almost, if you're to the untrained eye, sometimes they will describe it as brown where it is, but you feel the foliage is still as supple as it has ever been. So that goes with it, and it gives you a great level of interest in variety in your landscape.
Awesome. Quickly around the room, everybody's favorite Thanksgiving food. David?
Going straight to me. I have a hard time narrowing it down to a singular selection. So I'm not a good one to go with. My stepmother makes this apricot casserole, which is served as an entree item, but it's really a dessert. I don't really eat it because it's really sweet. It's delicious, but if I was still
is that your favorite?
If I was still eating sweets, it would be. It's really, really good.
Okay, Tyler.
Yeah,
I got him.
And my camera's frozen. Great.
It's okay.
Hey, what's up? It's me.
Hey, there you are.
Just keep talking. Your lips are not
Hash
moving.
brown casserole and sausage balls, y'all. What's up?
Good.
Caroline?
Oh, that sounds amazing. Squash casserole would be mine. It's the best.
Out of all squash casserole.
Okay,
I dig it.
You need to describe.
Are you judging me for my favorite casserole?
it's just-
wow.
Okay, now is yours one that's a cracker encrusted squash casserole?
Yes,
Okay.
and
With the
lots of cheese.
Ritz or just regular saltines?
Ritz.
Okay. Okay. We
I'm
can go
trying
with
to
that.
envision it properly.
Austin?
I'm going with the all-needed side item gravy. Without
yeah.
gravy, nothing works. For
But it
me,
can't just be
Do you just
any old
eat that
gravy.
on its own?
no, what I do is fill a whole plate up with everything that I want, and then the final touch is gravy over every bit of it.
Okay.
Giblets or no
You
giblets?
judged me for
Mama
squash
makes the
casserole.
giblet gravy.
There
and
you
I
go.
Love that one.
You don't go buy that at the store.
No,
Mama
that's-
has to make.
That's
Yeah.
what comes up, that stuff that's in the bag inside the turkey. Yeah, there
Yes.
you go.
Gotta have it.
Takes a little time, but it's well worth the effort.
Michael? Yours is deviled eggs, I know.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Deviled eggs are disgusting.
I'm with you on that. I
Yeah,
hate
they're
deviled eggs.
gross.
Yeah.
No, it's a tie between either the green beans my mom makes or my wife's Uncle Phil. He smokes a turkey every year.
How's he keep it lit?
Carefully, I guess. But it's
Oh, it gets such congestion. Man.
Really? Sorry.
but
Okay.
it's delicious. So
I think I'm with Austin.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. With a real
you-
close
hey,
second.
no, hold on.
Everybody
You
else
probably-
had to come up with some original. You're not going to just go, yeah, I'm
Now,
with it.
David, there's a reason. The only way his turkey ever tastes good is because he has to drown it in some pre-made gravy.
Ooh, wow.
Okay.
So no wonder he likes gravy
Josh,
so much.
you have a rebuttal to that?
He doesn't. So
Oh my gosh, Michael.
boom.
Getting wild.
Oh
He's,
boy,
he's
boy,
counting
boy.
down the weeks here. He knows his time's limited. He has a limited.
The inhibitions are gone. I don't
He
care.
has a limited time to
Okay.
take pot shots at Josh.
That's
And,
easy. I'm an easy target, but no, I'd say
Actually, that's true.
the gravy. Again, giblet gravy. See, my mom made giblet gravy, but my bride will not make giblet gravy. She doesn't do it.
She doesn't do
won't.
giblets.
Huh?
She didn't do giblets.
She doesn't do the jibs, man. No hearts, no livers, no.
I'm sure that she compensates in other cuisine areas to so that you can
Dessert,
dessert.
She's
so,
the
okay.
dessert.
So okay, what's the dessert that you like the best then?
ice cream.
She makes ice cream
No,
for you.
no. I'm not really a pie guy, but deviled eggs are my favorite. Oh, yeah,
he's got
man.
the
Something
devil
wrong
eggs.
with you,
No,
man.
no.
I'm a devil. Josh and I are both deviled egg guys, and Austin and Michael are not.
No.
So
got a
Tyler, what
new-
about you and Carrie?
I like them.
Oh, I love them.
See now,
Paprika?
No, Josh,
Come on.
I've got
Josh,
some new smoked paprika
okay,
this year to
you
use.
back me up on this. So you're
Okay.
going through the line, it's and you come up to where the deviled eggs are. Don't you put one on your plate, put one in your mouth, and you put one more on your plate?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to see who's behind you in line to see how many you can actually
Yeah,
take.
if they're, hey, look over there.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, when there's some deal, your daughters or your wife wouldn't make you deviled eggs or something.
No, nobody else wanted to make them, but my eldest daughter makes one called a Bloody Mary deviled egg that is spicy, that is just amazing. So we'll have to wait and see. I hear there's a new recipe in the household this year.
Well, I'm sure more will be revealed on
Probably
that.
have some
Hey, thanks
vegan
everybody
crap
for
in it.
tuning in this week.
All righty, folks. Everybody stay safe. Enjoy your holiday over the weekend. Don't do stupid, as we always say on holiday weekends. Where
Bring that turkey next Saturday.
Come see us.
We'll see. But hey, the last Sunday for business tomorrow at Bates Nursery, 12 to 4. So come on out today. Take advantage of all the specials. And we'll see you next Saturday morning because we're going to be here. And I
That's right.
might bring Michael a bite of turkey. Maybe.